But let's do this. Let's take a break from some of the top stories we've brought to you so far. And let's quickly bring to you what is trending and what's the latest story on the front pages of sports. Up next, here on Breakfast Central. We start off with sports this Wednesday morning with the story that the draw for the 12 qualifying groups for the Africa Cup of Nations took place in South Africa, and the defending champions, the Lions of Teranga, were placed in Group L with Benin. Rwanda and Mozambique, host nation Cote d'Ivoire, were placed in Group H. The Elephants approached the qualifying campaign with less pressure since they are already assured of participating as hosts following their fantastic display in the last tournament. Comoros will be facing Ivory Coast as well as Zambia 10 years after their defeat in the AFCON final against Renard's Chipolopolos. The indomitable Lions of Cameroon will be able to prepare for their participation in the Qatar World Cup with matches against the Harambee Stars of Kenya, Namibia and of course Burundi. Nigeria, yes, the Super Eagles, and Ghana fall into groups largely within their reach, unlike South Africa, which, in addition to their Zimbabwean neighbors, will have to face Morocco. The last African finalists, Egypt, will face Guinea. Algeria, which also fell against Cameroon in the FIFA World Cup qualifier, will face Tanzania and Uganda. So CAF will announce the dates and schedule of fixtures in due course. But in the meantime, let's also hope that we can have that graphics right there on the screen so we can take a look at these groups and how they have been spaced. But talking about the fact that the draws have been done and they are indeed eliciting a lot of conversations, we do have Jefta Okoroji, who joins us again this morning from his base here in Lagos, a sports analyst. Good morning to you, Jefta. Thank you for being here with us on Breakfast Central once more. All right, Jefta, let's take a look at the draws that have been made.
Joe, how you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's take a look at the draws. What stands out for you in lineup of these draws? Looking at the fact that the Super Eagles of Nigeria have been drawn, and a lot of countries will have a face-off once more.
Yeah, the draws were held yesterday. Of course, that was in South Africa, and of course, it was really an exciting one because a whole lot of people actually expected, big things to happen. And of course, you do know that it's going to be Cote d'Ivoire, talking about the actual AFCON from the 23rd of June to the 23rd of July. But I really just fancy the Super Eagles. I mean, that's what will concern a whole lot of people after missing out on the World Cup double header against Ghana when we failed to qualify for Qatar 2022, which, by the way, comes up later this year. But Nigeria drawn in their group alongside Sao Tome and Principe. You also have Sierra Leone and, of course, Guinea-Bissau. That is really a group where you just want to feel that maybe or not the Super Eagles can do well. A whole lot of Nigerians right now are not really fancying the chances of Super Eagles based on the fact that, they failed to qualify for the World Cup, and also putting into consideration the fact that, they didn't do well at the AFCON. Don't forget, they won all their group games, but then in the round of 16, they were knocked out by Tunisia. So questions lingering. Right now, we don't have a Super Eagles coach, so that will be on the front burner of the NFF to try and appoint one, although a whole lot of people are optimistic. They are confident that the Super Eagles of Nigeria can do well. South Africa missed out on the last edition. They will also want to qualify for this one. Don't forget, they didn't qualify. And of course, they have Morocco, Zimbabwe, and of course, Libya to contend with. Another one will be the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire. Although they are the hosts, but they will take on Zambia, Comoros, and Lesotho. So it promises to be quite exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. But for Nigeria, the Super Eagles, I just want us to get a good coach, prepare early. Since we're not going for the World Cup, Senegal will be going for the World Cup, so it's going to be a good opportunity for them to actually prepare, more like a preparation heading to the qualifiers for the AFCON 2023 in Cote d'Ivoire.
All right, but talking about preparation as well, the Super Eagles do have a few matches lined up for them, which they will be playing in the United States as well. Isn't that enough preparation for the team? I'm also concerned of not having a coach as well.
Well, you look at the fact that okay, fine. Or there are rumors that Jose Pesero, the man who was tipped to take over
Not Jose
the
Mourinho,
Super
right?
Eagles job, don't forget before the AFCON, talking about right there in Cameroon earlier this year, there were reports that Jose Pesero will take over, but Austin Eguavon stepped in, did well, and then there were talks of, oh, let's give Eguavon the job, but having failed having failed to qualify the Super Eagles for the World Cup, Jose Pesero is now in the mix again. There are talks that he will be the one in charge of the Super Eagles. But I'm just concerned because of the fact that even under Gennaro, we failed to find a system, especially for our football. There was no bite, there was no ambition. You couldn't really say this was the tactics where the Super Eagles were playing, or this was how they were approaching matches. But he was getting the job done. And quite frankly, even with the game in hand, he was qualifying us. And a whole lot of people thought if it was Gennaro, he will definitely have qualified. But that, of course, is, just left to hindsight to actually, tell us if he would have or would have not. But the crux of the matter remains that right now, the Super Eagles need a coach that can instill tactics in the boys because, I mean, over the two legs against Ghana, we saw the Super Eagles side that failed to deliver. We saw the Super Eagles side that did not bring in correlation. There wasn't harmony in terms of synergy, in terms of understanding each other on the pitch. Yes, we lost a couple of key players, especially Wilfred Ndidi, but I don't think, that friendly, like you mentioned, would be enough. I just feel that we need to just go deeper, like understand that this is a national team and whoever you're bringing in must have a good knowledge of these players. Whoever you're bringing in must have an idea as to where to play these players because we found out that in the AFCON Cameroon, once Moses Simon and Samuel Chukwueze were dealt with, once you had a solution to them, there was no plan B from us Negavon. So that really called into question how a coach like or a coach like him in that capacity, wouldn't have been able to exploit other options, which is why I feel that if we are getting a coach, we should get one that understands the Super Eagles, understands that this is a national team, and he has to put the ideologies together. And I feel that if he can do that, then we can have a chance of qualifying.
All right. Okay, so let's just look at the fact that the draws have been made. Let's take a look at the draws one more time and see which one seems to be very dicey at the same time and which one seems to be very, very close in terms of who you will find very tough to select that will go through. Group A has got Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, Sao Tome, as rightly said. Group B, you have Cape Verde, Togo, Eswatini, Burkina Faso. Group C, Namibia, Kenya, Burundi, Cameroon. D, Ethiopia, Malawi, Guinea, Egypt. E, Angola, Madagascar, Central African Republic, Ghana. And of course, don't forget that we will also like to mention that Group F that you see there will have Uganda, Tanzania, Algeria. A little bit of conversation still ongoing there. Of course, there are other groups there that we also like to discuss. Group G, for instance, has got the Gambia, Congo, South Sudan, Mali. Group H, Lesotho, Comoros, Zambia, Ivory Coast, and the likes. Jefta, well, we've taken a look at all these groups. Hopefully, we would get to talk more about the AFCON qualifiers and the draws that have just been made. But before we leave, let's also take a quick look at this one, Jefta. Yesterday, there was no Cristiano Ronaldo. Liverpool outclassed a desperate Manchester United in a one-sided affair at Anfield to go top of the Premier League. I know you are a Manchester United fan. How does it feel, by the way, not seeing your team win, seeing them go down to 4 goals to nothing?
I put out a tweet last night after that game. I said, if there was anything that really pained me was the fact that I just wasted 90 minutes of my time to score nothing. I mean, that's how bad it can get. You look at both teams and you just feel that Liverpool are 6 years ahead of Manchester United. I mean, credit should go to Jurgen Klopp for the way he's organized Liverpool. Liverpool are now formidable. We saw what they did over the weekend against Man City. Even before that, they took on Man City in the league, and you could see that it was a case of Jurgen Klopp understanding tactics. I mean, you look at the Liverpool players. They're just different breed, very hungry. They play an exciting brand of football, exhilarating. I mean, from the back line where you have Konate and Virgil van Dijk, and then Joe Matip, of course, if you don't want to bring in Konate, and then you look at the right and the left backs, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and of course, Andy Robertson. Then to the midfield, Fabinho, Naby Keita, Jordan Henderson. Then, of course, up front, they have options: Luis Diaz, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Diogo Jota. I mean, it was a case of a clear distinction. It was night versus day. Man United were in shambles, and you begin to question whether or not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have been sacked, because Ralph Ragnick came in and he was talking about tactics. He was talking about making sure he would bring in his sort of football that will enable Man United press from the front. And, he came with so much promises. But then you look at Man United now, take away Cristiano Ronaldo, who has been a sort of a shining light in that Man United team, and you just wonder where Man United will have been. Don't forget, he was his goals that helped Man United to qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League. He scored in every game against Villarreal, against Atlanta, against Young Boys. Even in the Premier League last weekend, he scored a hat-trick. So when you look at it now, apart from Cristiano Ronaldo, who is in Man United team that is really showing power? Well, Bruno Fernandes, of course, ever since Ronaldo came in, he's been sort of shaky. And then Paul Pogba. I mean, Man United right now, you just go into every game and you just have it at the back of your mind that they're going to concede. That's the sad part of. I mean, I can't remember the last time Man United kept a clean sheet. But then again, look at Liverpool. Just in the reverse fixture, 5 goals to nil at Old Trafford, where Mo Salah got a hat trick. And now 2 goals on the night. Of course, you look at Luis Diaz and, of course, Sadio Mane getting into the mix as well. So I just feel that a whole lot of cleansing, if you allow me to use the word, needs to be done. Players need to be sold. Players need to be brought in already. Discussions are being held with Eric Ten Hag, who, of course, is the coach of Ajax, to come take over. But I just feel that Sir Alex Ferguson right now will be shaking his head, looking at the legacy he built. I mean,
All crumbling
Liverpool
down
were
all of a
on
sudden.
18 league titles. He came, met them, and surpassed them. And now, ever since he's left, from David Moyes to Louis Van Gaal
Jose
to Ole Gunnar
Mourinho.
Solskjaer to Jose Mourinho, they've not been able to win the league. That tells you a whole lot about where Man United are right now. Even Roy Keane said it. He doesn't understand this version of Man United scene. Man United in the days you had Paul Scholes, you had fighters, you had Paul Scholes, you had, Cristiano Ronaldo who's come back, you had players like David Beckham,
Ruth
even
Van
up until the new
Nistelrooy.
generation of players, Patrick Evra, Nemanja Vidic, Roy Ferdinand. But these days, Harry Maguire seems to be, I don't know really, because I mean,
Jefta.
you look at his
Jefta.
profile, and ever since he made that move from Leicester to Man United, hasn't really held down
Jefta.
his own. I
Jefta.
mean, it's just a sad story to tell, honestly. And
All right.
I feel that the sooner Man United deal with it, the better. But again, it starts from the top.
All
Man
right.
United getting their priorities wrong in terms of signings, in terms of how the Glazers are running the club, and then it just trickles down to
All
even the
right. All right,
management,
Jefta.
and you know,
I know it's tough.
it's
I know
sad
it's
really,
I know it's
but
really tough
that's
for
the
you right
reality
now
that we
as a
must.
Manchester United fan. I know how it feels, but I think we're just gonna have to let you go here so you don't go waxing more lyrical and emotional at this point. But thank you so much for joining us at Breakfast Central and taking a look at the top sports stories for this morning.